Hello, everyone. Welcome on our feature flash this month. We're going to wait a few more minutes for people to join. Let's wait until 1:05 to start, Kristof. Hello, everyone. We're waiting a few more minutes so that other people can join, and in 1 minute we will be starting. Okay, Kristof, it's 1:05. Let's start. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining again on our monthly webinar, this time the feature flash. Of course, you will get the recording afterwards, but I would like to hand over the mic to Kristof, our product owner, who will show you a little bit about dependencies coming up and the new dashboard coming up.
Thank you, Sarah. Hello, everyone. I'm going to share my screen with everyone. Okay, let's go. Um, Let me start by saying sorry, but we're not going to show the spaghetti account this time. I might be disappointing a few people in the call that especially came for the Italian spaghetti account, but we're going to use the old-fashioned way of working today. So showing a PowerPoint presentation with the two topics that actually going to be handled about log dependencies and about the reporting. These are two things that we're actually going to develop. They're actually already in development, but we're going to launch them somewhere over the summer. So it's more already an idea for you guys to think about what will come and how you can start using them in the future. All right, so let's start with the locked dependencies. Dependencies was already a concept that we had or have already in the system. And what dependencies actually are doing is you can link one learning path to another learning path. So meaning you first need to finish your first learning path before actually the second learning path becomes available for the user. And how it is set up now is really that it becomes available, so also visibly available for the user in the front end once the first one is fully finished. And this is actually a main part that we're going to change with the locked dependencies. Because as you can see here on the screenshots, is that we're going to show the first learning path, but directly show the second, third, fourth dependent learning paths as well. But the user will see them as locked, and once the user clicks on it, he will also get a pop-up saying, okay, they are locked, but basically you need to start this learning path or finish this learning path before you can actually unlock it. So it's an extra trigger for the user to start playing other learning paths to actually unlock others as well. So that's a bit the idea, the main idea behind it, that we're going to show all the learning paths, the ones that are open, the ones that are locked, so that the user directly sees the full flow and all the learning paths that they need to do or need to complete by a certain time or period. That's the first approach. Second approach is that we're actually going to think about more the whole experience around it. Basically, as well, from the moment that you finish the learning path, you're being redirected back to the Skillflix homepage where a new pop-up opens that says, okay, congratulations, you now basically unlock new learning paths. And now we're going to do some animations on there. Animations and small part of gamification that the lock basically pops up and opens, turns around, all those things. And we're also doing some confetti, nice things on the screen. The confetti part that we're showing now is still under discussion what and how and would be the perfect thing. But that's with the idea behind it, that we're going to celebrate the whole unlocking mechanism and basically congratulating the person, okay, you did something, now you can actually do something else. That's the whole aspect that we're going to display and develop as well. Second part is then on the actual Skillflix categories as well, where you saw the lock in the beginning. There we're also going to do something on. So you had the lock. From the moment that the pop-up is gone, you're going back to your Skillflix homepage with the categories, where you see the lock. The lock will open as well. There's also some animation on the tile, and then you can actually start. You might be thinking now, isn't it too much? You first have the pop-up with the confetti, then you also have it on the tile and all those things. But the tile unlocking and what you see here on the screen will be very smooth and will be blend in the whole approach of the user going through the categories, clicking on the category and clicking on the tile, all those things. So this is all together, it will take a couple of seconds. It's not that it will take a minute to unlock, pop-up, all those things. So it's a nice blend of all the animations, small part gamification that actually comes in place in the Skillflix menu. As you already saw in the beginning, we're also doing this for all the screens, so fully responsive on all the devices, all the aspects, all the screens are taken into consideration. So also the animations will be there, and it will be a whole nice experience as well if you actually open it on your PC or on your tablet. So that's a bit the idea behind the lock dependencies. Again, we already have the dependencies now. They are already available for you to use. The only difference is that if you activate them now, the path that you see here, the one with the lock, is not visible. And that's something we want to change because it's going to attract more people and the engagement will be higher as well because you actually notice the parts that you still need to do. And then whole the experience behind it is extra development that we're also going to do. So that's the first thing that we quickly wanted to show to you guys. Um, you can already start thinking about the whole flow that you want to set up because, as I said, this will come over the summer. But you can already start thinking about the flow behind it. What are paths that you want to create? What are paths that you want to create dependent? And perhaps start writing it down on a piece of paper. First path A, then path 2, then path 3, then path 4. So you can create a full flow on this if you want. And then later on, when this is fully live, we will do another presentation and then you directly see it as well in the CMS, how you need to set it up. But normally on the CMS, we're not going to change anything. There, it's still the normal way of working as we have now. You just link one path to another path, and that's basically it. So it's mainly front end that we're going to change, purely the experience on the user side. Okay, that's the first part we wanted to show, so the log dependencies. Second part of today's call is about reporting. Here as well, we already have a couple of things that are already available for you guys, but we wanted to share it again so that everybody in the call and everybody listening to the recording afterwards know exactly what we all offer and what can be used within the organization. We have three ways of doing reporting. First one is the CSV file, so basically a raw data dump. Second one is with endpoints, and the third one is the dashboard with Cumul.io that most of you already know. If you go a bit deeper in every topic, CSV files is, as I said already, a raw data dump of all the information that we actually have available in our database. Okay. These files, they can be added automatically to an SFTP server where the client can then basically pick it up and do something with it on their side, or can also be requested to Customer Success Manager when it needed. If you want to do a full analysis on your side, you want to see all the data, raw data dump, it can also be asked to your Customer Success. And the CSV files basically contain all the information that you actually can imagine. So everything that we have is available in this CSV file. Let me quickly jump to an example of it so that you can also see it. So we have all the users in there with the information of the user, username, user full name, if it's linked to a certain group, to stores, to the countries, everything about user information is available here. If you move to the side, you directly see as well all the information about the Skillflix. So if it's linked to a category, engagement is there. You see the track names, when a person started a track, when a track is published, the starting time of a track, all those things are also available in here. And then, of course, the most important part is how did the person score on these learning paths? What is the module score? And also what is basically the final test score? So all the scoring and engagement of the user is here as well. You see, for example, here that we're duplicating as well a lot of people. So reason why we are doing this, because we're actually showing all the module information. So you have one learning path in this example. This learning path exists out of 9 different modules, and those 9 different modules also have a certain score. So this score. So you can imagine that these files can become very big if your population is very large and you have a lot of learning paths available for your population. Then the files become very big. And Excel also has limitations. If you're talking about a couple of 100,000 lines, Excel also starts to fail a bit and is not able to process all the data anymore. And that's why we're actually going towards the second part. Now I'm going back to my PowerPoint, the endpoints. And the API endpoints actually cover this problem of very big and very large files. What I did is I actually Googled what are API endpoints, and that's the explanation that you see at the top. So an API endpoint is a point at which an API, and an API is a code that allows two software programs to communicate with each other, connects with the software program. In this case, it's MobieTrain. So APIs works by sending requests for information from a web application or a web server and receiving a response. Again, this is the Google explanation of it. Let me explain a bit in English what it is about. And best is you can compare it to when you go to booking.com, for example. You're looking for a holiday, summer is almost there. So you want to go to Spain, you fill it in as a filter. You want to go to a hotel and you want to travel between this and this date. Then you click on search and you get results back. That's basically the same as what you're going to do with an endpoint. You say, I want to have um, my registered users to this learning path with a certain score. So you fill in your filters and you get results back. That's basically, in very simple set, what an endpoint will do. And this link is available for all clients, basically the IT team of the client. And then they can look at all the information that we have and say, okay, I want to have certain information on the IDs. I want to have certain information on the invitation, on the learning content. All those things that we have available in the CSV file will be created as an endpoint and then can be retrieved whenever you basically want as a client. Again, you need to have a certain person, IT person, that can connect to those endpoints and can visualize these results. But if you have that person on your client side, the endpoints are an ideal way to actually get information in and process the information. So these are endpoints, a very nice way of also getting data to your site. And then the third one that we have is the dashboard. Everybody, I think, in the call knows the dashboard. We're working with Kumula.io. It's basically a data visualization tool. And what it does, it connects directly to our database. So all the information that we have is also visual here in the dashboard. Me, customer success, sales, the whole management team, we're actually looking at the dashboard and we're thinking, what can we actually improve here? And we are now looking to a whole new structure to see if all the information that is there is relevant still. Do we still need it? Brings it added value or not? Do we need to add new things to it? So we're now working as well on a revamp of this whole dashboard. And from the moment that it's finished, we're going to do a gradual rollout to all the clients actually, because we need to change all the trigger emails, the weekly sending out of the dashboards. So we're going to do this phased, and your customer success will also contact you from the moment that we are ready to move your account to the new dashboard. We'll also set up a call to go over the dashboard if needed to explain the new way of working, what are the new tables, what are the new graphs, so that you perfectly know what is available in this dashboard. If I go to the dashboard, I can quickly show it as well. Let me take it up as full screen. The main parts keep the same. Okay, so we will have a header at the top with your image, and then we will have the key data. The biggest change here is that we move the key data out of the rest of the dashboard. So we're not going to link the key data to all the filters. So the key data will be showing you your distinct users of the whole account. We're not linking it to the dashboard filters, so that you directly have in one view, okay, these are my population. How does my population do it? How are they registering? How are they active and completing certain things? From the moment that you scroll down, you have your dashboard filters. And the biggest change here that we're going to do is adding the user groups to it. That's something we didn't have in the past. And now we actually noticed that a lot of clients are asking to report on the user groups, because user groups most of the time now contain as well job information, job post information, store information. All those things are also included in the user groups. So that's why we also decided, okay, let's visualize them in the dashboard, link all the other graphs and tables to these user group filters, so that you can see the information based on what you select there. If we then scroll down, we're going to also show you a gurus table. So in the past, we always got the question, okay, I have a certain population on the platform. We see that a lot of people finished it, but who are now actually my top performers? How many of the people that finished it are actually in this guru category, that fully finished everything, 100%, everything is perfectly fine? So that's something we're also going to display based on learning path. So also a nice added value. One extra that we're going to put in is an activation rate based on certain geographical regions, or we can even do this on job position. That's still something that we need to decide on, but that you also see a nice flow, who's actually doing better than other certain parts of my population. And the main part of the others of the dashboard, we're going to keep the same, because we're actually seeing as well that, for example, this part on the knowledge brings a lot of added value, where you can see your struggle points, where you can see a lot of improvement points. So those things we definitely want to keep in there, because they actually bring a lot of added values already. So that's the dashboard. As I said, most of the things are now work in progress, more already a bit more advanced than the others. But the idea is to have by the beginning of the summer, so end of June or mid of summer, to already release a lot of those things to a bunch of our clients, and gradually everybody will have it on their site. Same with the lock dependencies. Planning is to have this by the end of the month, so that you can also start using it over the summer, start changing your way of working, perhaps already link certain parts over the summer in a calmer period to test it out, and then we can all work with that. So that was a bit on my side. 2 points. If there are questions, please feel free to ask them.
Thank you so much, Kristof. If you have yes, any questions, you can post them in the chat or the Q&A section to the right, and then Kristof can go deeper into that. And I think, Kristof, definitely the APIs, for example, or the CSV files are very useful for companies that have their own development department, or companies that are working with Power BI or the specific reporting programs. So definitely that's a nice add.
Yeah, indeed. As you said, you still need to have a certain IT knowledge to actually work with the endpoint. So an IT person on the client side would be valuable to actually, work with this.
Yes. I have a question of Ingrid from Hubo. Are there still problems with names with an accent or the C virgule in French in the CSV file? And I think maybe, I'm not sure if that's also in this data CSV file, but also Ingrid, maybe you mean in the translation, with the translation files.
In the CSV files, I think I know what you mean. When you actually open a CSV file, you need to do this in a specific way, because Excel actually transform accents to certain characters, strange character, all those things. So there is a setting called UTF-8 that actually prevents opening those CSV files in a wrong way. So if you have accents and you open it with this certain setting, then the accents stay. I think we have somewhere a manual, or I can actually take some print screens out of it, how you actually need to open it, and then it all works. Not sure if you're working with a Mac, because if you open it directly on Mac with the Excel of a MacBook, there it does it automatically. But if you open it via Excel, the real Microsoft Excel, then you need to use the extra setting.
Mhm. Good, good one, Kristof. Thank you. I think indeed we can create a short manual, and then we will also upload it in the customer portal after
Yeah,
we have the recording. And indeed, Ingrid says thank you, and indeed no Mac, so it's the official Microsoft Excel.
yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ingrid, for the good question. Any other questions at the moment? I don't see anything showing up. Um, Great. Thank you, Katrien. Also, see you all soon. I think indeed, if there are any other questions, reach out to your customer success manager, and we'll definitely answer you as soon as possible. Thank you all for watching, and let's see you next time. Thank you also, Kristof, for the nice explanation.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Have a nice day.